The moment he stepped into the grand hallway of the billionaire's mansion, his heart froze. Towering walls adorned with priceless art, crystal chandeliers sparkling like captured stars, and luxurious carpets that whispered under his worn shoes. Everything screamed wealth he could never imagine. But it wasn't the gold-plated door handles or the priceless sculptures that stopped him in his tracks. It was the photograph, his wife's photograph. Framed elegantly, smiling softly as if captured in a moment of eternal peace, hanging prominently in the center of the living room. A wave of confusion, anger, and unbearable sorrow hit him all at once. He had lived these past 3 years raising his daughter alone, surviving paycheck to paycheck, haunted by grief after her sudden passing. And now, here it was, the image of the woman he loved in a place he never imagined with someone he barely knew. If you believe in kindness, second chances, and the power of unexpected miracles, make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel's Soul Tale. Saul, a 35-year-old single father, had spent the last half-decade working 2 jobs just to keep a small apartment warm for his 6-year-old daughter, Lily. Every night, after the city lights dimmed and the streets fell silent, he would sit by Lily's bedside, telling her stories of their mother, showing her pictures, and wiping away the tears that always threatened to spill. Life had been a series of sacrifices, of holding back his own sorrow to ensure Lily could have a childhood filled with love, even if it lacked luxury. But the sight of his wife's photo here, in this mansion filled with untold riches, was a puzzle he could not yet decipher. He remembered the day he had first met the billionaire Marcus Halstead, a man whose presence seemed to command every room, whose life appeared untouchable by grief or loss. Saul had delivered a package to Marcus's office as part of a temporary courier job, and in a brief conversation, he noticed something in Marcus's eyes, a flicker of curiosity, a depth that went beyond money. But there was no reason to think their lives would intertwine. Until now. Swallowing his disbelief, Saul's legs felt heavy as he approached Marcus, who was seated in an enormous leather chair, casually flipping through a rare art catalog. Saul's voice trembled as he asked the question that had consumed him for minutes. Why was his wife's photo in this mansion? Marcus's eyes softened, and for a moment the air between them held a silence heavier than any word could fill. Then, with a calm that unsettled Saul, Marcus began to explain. Years before, when Saul's wife, Amelia, had been working as an aspiring architect, she had unknowingly helped Marcus design one of his early properties. She had poured her heart into every blueprint, every sketch, never expecting recognition beyond her small firm. Marcus had been so impressed by her vision, her kindness, and the way she treated even the humblest of staff with dignity, that he had never forgotten her. When he learned of her passing, he had wanted to honor her memory, not as a trophy, but as a testament to a life that had quietly changed the world around her. That photograph was Marcus's tribute, a silent acknowledgement of the woman whose warmth had left a mark on everyone she encountered. The revelation hit Saul like a tidal wave. The anger, the grief, the confusion, they melted into something almost sacred. He could feel Amelia's presence in the room, her laughter echoing in the way Marcus spoke of her vision immortalized in the halls of a mansion Saul could never have imagined walking into. Tears streamed down his face as he realized that in some unimaginable way, his wife had touched lives far beyond what he had known. And even in death, her kindness was being remembered, cherished, and celebrated. For the first time in years, Saul felt a sense of connection beyond his own grief. Marcus invited him to walk through the mansion, to see the spaces Amelia had inspired, the garden she had envisioned in sketches, now blooming in reality. As they walked, Saul thought of Lily, of how he would tell her that even when the people we love leave us, their light continues to shine in ways we cannot always see. He felt a quiet resolve growing inside him, an understanding that life could still surprise, that joy could emerge even from the deepest sorrow. Over the next weeks, Marcus and Saul developed an unlikely friendship. Marcus offered mentorship, guidance, and even opportunities that Saul had never dreamed of. Saul learned that kindness, perseverance, and love left marks far deeper than money or status. And for Lily, life slowly shifted from survival to possibility. Weekends filled with laughter, new experiences, and the knowledge that her mother's impact extended beyond her family. Months later, standing on the balcony overlooking the city skyline, Saul reflected on the journey that had brought him here. The man who had once felt trapped by grief now stood empowered by a realization that human connection, legacy, and love were far more enduring than material wealth. His heart ached still, but it was the ache of remembrance, not despair, a feeling of closeness to Amelia that no one could ever take away. As he watched Lily play in the garden, Saul whispered a promise he knew he would keep: to live fully, to honor her memory, and to teach his daughter that even in tragedy there is light, that even in loss there is hope, and that kindness, true kindness, has the power to transcend time, distance, and even death. If this story touched your heart, please engage with this video. Like, comment, and share it with someone who needs to feel hope today. Let us know in the comments how kindness or second chances have changed your life. Saul never expected to find a connection between grief and grace in a billionaire's mansion, but in the end, he discovered something priceless: the enduring power of love, the legacy of a life well lived, and the hope that even the most broken hearts can find healing in the unlikeliest places. And in that moment, he realized that Amelia's light had never truly left. They had just found new ways to shine.